one of the most respected gods in all of ancient Greece, the founder of Greek medicine, the foundation of the ancient Greek hospitals, the great healer who could resurrect the dead, whose healing hands could grant immortality and angered the gods, a great man who became legend and was deified, or a symbolic god of Greek mythology. Who was Asclepius, the Greek god of medicine? Let's find out. His parents was the god Apollo and the princess Coronis, and there are two main origin stories surrounding his birth. In one, after Apollo got the princess pregnant, ashamed, she hid the pregnancy from her father and had the baby in secret while traveling through Epidaurus, which is where Asclepius was worshipped. In another story, after Apollo got her pregnant, he had to go away for a while. And when she cheated on Apollo in his time away, and when he found out, he killed her with an arrow through the heart. Regretting his decision immediately, he wanted to give her a proper funeral pyre. During the fire, he remembered that she was pregnant with his child and performed the first C-section, and gave the child the name Asclepius, meaning to cut open. Apollo would then give the baby to the famous centaur Chiron, and Chiron would teach him his healing arts. Asclepius would be named in the Odyssey a few times, in the story of Jason in the Golden Fleece, and in the slaying of the great boar Caledonian. Asclepius received most of this healing knowledge from Chiron, and some of it was passed down from his father Apollo. It was said that Asclepius would heal with incantations, the use of medical herbs, and surgery. He could even heal snake bites, which was a common cause of death. In one story, Asclepius heals a snake, and in return, that snake gave him the secrets of healing. In another story, Asclepius was thrown in prison until he could resurrect Glaucus, and while in prison, a snake climbed up his staff. He mistakenly beat the snake to death, and another snake, the snake's friend, crawled up his staff and placed a herb on the dead snake's head, resurrecting the snake and giving Asclepius the herb that could resurrect the dead. In another story, Athena gave Asclepius a vial of her blood, which could resurrect the dead. Asclepius became associated with the snake climbing up his rod, and that symbol is still used for a medical symbol today. Asclepius continued healing the people of Greece, until his power to resurrect the dead angered the gods. Hades was the first god enraged because he was losing souls. Then Zeus became worried that humans would become immortal, knocking his laws out of balance. So Zeus killed Asclepius with a lightning bolt. Enraged, Apollo took revenge against his father and killed the Cyclops who made Zeus's weapons. Eventually Zeus would resurrect Asclepius as the constellation the Serpent Bearer, the 13th sign missing from the Western zodiac. The cult of Asclepius. The worship of Asclepius began around 500 BC, when he took over the title of god of medicine from his father Apollo. Temples dedicated to him were called Asclepians, and they were spread out all over Greece, typically built on hillsides outside of town and near wells and healing bodies of water. Members of his cult were also called Asclepians. One of the most famous members of his cult was Hippocrates, where we get the Hippocratic Oaths from. He is also considered the father of Greek medicine. People seeking healing at these temples would go through a ritualistic process. First, they would have a ritualistic bath and a cleansing diet. Then they would be put to sleep hypnotically to have a dream, hopefully to be visited by Asclepius or one of his children. Non-venomous snakes also filled the temple. Then, once the patient was cured, they would give a sacrifice of a rooster or a goat, giving thanks to the god of healing.